Hi, I'm Sanguinisma, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we'll be going over some of the more racially profiling experiences I had while I was working in mental health. And so this video is crazy shit clients have said to me when I worked in a mental health crisis facility. Disclaimer, all of these stories are true and I'm okay with you all talking about them after we're done today. But please remember, these are still real people with real and serious mental health or substance use problems and deserve to be treated with human dignity and respect. And yes, you are very, very allowed to laugh at these. In fact, please express something other than abject horror. First day. Are you Japanese or are you Korean? I do not have to answer that. And then for the rest of that shift, that client would not stop trying to talk to me about Yoko Ono, specifically to me. We found out 2 days later that the same client managed to sneak meth into the facility and was pretty much high the entire time. Don't ask me for any other context. I don't remember. After taking a 2-week vacation, the client, an older white gentleman, walks into the medication room and sits down very slowly. He then leans across the table to look at my face, and I notice this, but I'm not going to say anything about it. So I mind my business and keep looking through his medications to find the right ones. And the moment I look up. So, are you Filipino or Korean? And then I called out sick for 3 days after that. We get informed we are receiving a high acuity client who has been in mental hospitals for some time in the local area. He's very fixated on magic and the supernatural and pretty much doesn't talk about anything else. On the first day, he checks in around noon and I clock in at 3 p.m. By 3:30, the following things have been said. Are you South Korean? Are you Chinese? I know you're South Korean, because South Koreans always lie. Which then led to this conversation. A client just accused me of being South Korean, started talking about how he was injected with serums in North Korea to have his vampire heritage erased, and is now walking around and pointedly looking at me every time he says anything to do with East Asian heritage. Like, he'll be talking about so-and-so and then see the word Taiwanese and then look right at me when he says Taiwanese. It's kind of wild, but it's so funny. He's so obsessed with my race. Like, when he asked me if I was South Korean, I just said, I don't think that's something I have to tell you. And then he went, I know you're South Korean. I can see it in you. And I was like, oh. And according to all of the clients at work, we have an equal opportunity for all of these countries. Philippines, Vietnam, China, Japan, South Korea, specifically South Korea. Why not North Korea? They said I couldn't be North Korean because South Koreans are evil vampires that want to kill people. One time, while trying to do a wholesome group activity, making wontons for dinner with the clients, I'm minding my piece and going around the tables to show the clients how to make the wontons, and a client asked me, do you know how to make wontons because you're Chinese? And a week later, the same client jumped out of the van halfway to the emergency room. I had an older white male client who I thought the vibes were off, meaning I thought he probably leaned conservative. Later I found out from my white male coworker that while he was driving the client said this to him. That Oriental girl, or whatever you call them now, she can't drive. Which then led to this. No, according to the clients at work, it's pronounced that Oriental girl. While driving back from the hospital, a client asked me if I was Buddhist, to which I said no. The client asked me if Asians were Buddhist, and I said no again, this time stating that I was raised evangelical Christian and very conservative. And the client said, no, that's not what I meant. Are Asians Buddhist like how Jewish people are born Jewish? Is that what your people believe in? And I almost swerved into someone's car. And some other things that apparently happened, but I do not remember the context for. Just had a very white male client mansplain Tai Chi and Bruce Lee to me while occasionally dropping, I know you know about Tai Chi. Working at the loony bin doesn't feel like a real job. What do you mean I can get racially profiled by a client and then check their prescriptions at the pharmacy by phone all in the same 20 minutes? Here are some other ones you can try. Verbally assaulting staff with sexual comments. Attempting to end the life of a staff member or otherwise threatening to do so. Throw up in a bowl and show it to staff. Jump out of a moving vehicle. Solicit strangers for cigarettes. Cuss out a doctor after staff drove you 1 hour one way to see your doctor. A client came in to ask for Tylenol. I pass her the fucking Tylenol. She comes in, then starts staring at the pill, and I'm like... And she's like, the number on the pill isn't right. And I'm like, well, it all came from the same Tylenol bottle, so I don't know what you want me to do. And she's like, you're not being honest. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all I know. It all came from the same bottle. She's like, I'm gonna call the cops. And then she looks it up, and Google literally told her it was acetaminophen. Client shits their pants. My coworker. Oh no. He caca in his pantalones. Alright, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye.